Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. If he had lived, Terry Wogan would have been 84 today, but of course he sadly died in 2016 of a cancer which he'd managed to keep private entirely until the end. I was very fortunate to be able to meet Terry Wogan when he ran his breakfast show. I was doing the religious slot on and off for a few years, and he was an extraordinary person. There are two qualities particularly that I want to pick out as we think about him today. One was his capacity to be really silly. he, he if you want a laugh with some occasionally slightly risque innuendo, Google Janet and John Wogan, and on Spotify you can listen to him reciting some of the Janet and John stories that were part of his morning programme. But there was a whole range of, the Togs were his supporters, old geezers, and there was just this generally light touch to life that was so appealing, I think, of a morning, when alongside it often went really quite serious news bulletins and worrying things about life. The other thing, which again he handled with a very light touch, which was, I'm sure, extremely serious and important to him, was the way in which he built the team around him. Sitting in the room there, watching the programme go out and waiting for my turn, you couldn't help but sense the real affection and warmth that there was between Terry Wogan and his team. Alan Boyd was the producer for most of the time I was doing it, but there was a warmth there, and clearly his previous producer who died tragically, he was obviously very fondly remembered. And Fran Godfrey, who used to do the traffic reports, there was always a sort of little bit of argy-bargy and interchange between them as they handed over from her report back to him, and from him introducing her. This sense that everybody had an important part to play, and the newsreaders too. They were involved in this team. He managed to bring everybody in and to include everybody, and members of the audience felt included when their messages were read out. There was a real sense of this being a team effort. And I think, as a way of approaching life, light-heartedly, enjoying silliness, but at the same time with the deep seriousness of respecting other people's contributions and valuing what they can offer, and drawing them into a cooperative effort. That capacity, that almost contrasting but together very creative set of abilities, I think was what made him exceptional. And it struck me as something worth remembering today, that light-heartedness, silliness can be enormously valuable, but so too can the more serious task of making sure that you really respect what other people can offer and valuing it.